Hi, and welcome to Meeples on Meeples episode 94. I'm Brian, and this week we're going to be looking at Rocky Road a la mode, a small pocket-sized game that packs a little more punch than you'd expect. Let's take a look at how it plays, and we'll come back with my thoughts. In Rocky Road a la mode, each player is an ice cream truck driver trying to serve customers and get a monopoly on the ice cream industry in the neighborhood. You start the game with 3 cards in your hand, like so. And the cards are laid out as follows. Up in the top left corner here, you've got what we'd call a resource. If I spend this, it's worth 1 orange dreamsicle. The top number is how many spaces I move forward, or how much, quote unquote, time it takes to pull over and attract customers. And if I pull over, these are the customers I attract. So if I wanted to play this card, what I would do is I would say I'm going to pull over to serve customers. I slide it under my truck like so. It had a cost of 1, so if I am the orange player, I should have been on top here, I would move 1 space. Now these are the customers I'm going to have to serve. Turn order goes that whoever is the furthest behind and or on top is the one in last place, and it is their turn to go. In this case, blue would go next, and maybe they choose to do something and they move up, and then green's turn, and once they pass orange, then it's orange's turn, etc. It moves on like so. The number of spaces you move depends. One is if you serve a customer, that's one of your options. Another option on your turn is you can go to the draw pile and you can draw up to 5 cards. You have to announce, I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, however many cards it is. You draw that number of cards and you move that many spaces forward to show that time has passed. So if orange is in the rear here and says I'm going to draw 5, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. They draw their 5 cards. The next option is serve customers. So if I have a customer here, and she wants an orange dreamsicle and a blue popsicle, I would have to have in my hand cards with the symbol up here to match. So I say I'm going to serve this customer. I would pay these 2 cards. They'd go to the discard pile. I'd move this up. I'd move my car forward 1, because you move up 1 space. And that's the third option. So again, you're either pulling over, moving this number of spaces forward to play a card and line up customers at your truck. You are moving 1 space forward and playing the cards necessary to serve a customer that you have lined up, or you're drawing cards and moving that many spaces forward. You'll notice that on the track there are these bomb pops. If you land on one of those, you have to end your space, not pass it, but directly land on it. You get to take it and it counts as a wild. So for instance, for this next customer that I have lined up here, as you can see, I need orange and blue. Let's say I only had 1 orange and blue, but I had a bomb pop. I could count this as the other orange I need, and I have my 2 oranges and blues. I discard that and move this up. When you are finished serving a card of customers, it flips behind your car like so, and it gives you the reward on the bottom of the card. So in this case, I get 1 victory point, and I permanently have 1 orange sickle, or 1 orange dreamsicle, as a resource that I can spend. So on future turns, I automatically always have 1 orange. So let's say the next time I want to serve customers, if I have this card underneath me now with that reward behind me, I would just need 1 more orange and a pink cone because I already have an orange. So that's basically what you're doing, is choosing when to play a card and serve customers, choosing when to draw cards and move forward, possibly getting the bomb pops and using them as wilds. And once they're spent, by the way, they go back to the first open spot in front of all the cards, for instance, and then the next person can land on it and take it. And you're serving customers until eventually you build up more and more victory points behind your truck. Now, once I finish this card off, and you can only serve 1 customer per round, by the way, now I can do this, and I have 3 victory points, a permanent orange and a blue permanent behind me. Once you have 9 victory points behind you, you trigger the end of the game, and it's the last round. Since I'm in the lead here, everybody who is behind you still gets to keep playing until they catch up to you. So green could play until they catch up to me or pass me, and blue, and once they get past me, the game is over. So there's a chance that they could still possibly win. It should be noted that you can take more than 1 turn in a row. If I was 4 spaces behind these guys and I just drew 1 card on my turn, I would only move 1 space. If I just served 1 customer on my next turn, I still only move 1 space. As long as I am furthest behind, I get to keep going and I can take multiple turns in a row. So that's why it's not always necessarily a great thing to draw a ton of cards, pass everybody up, because then it could be a while before they catch up to you and it's your turn again. But anyway, you trigger the game with 9 victory points. You finish up the rounds after that, or until everybody catches up and passes you, and whoever has the most victory points wins the game. Let's start with our likes and dislikes. I'll be honest, there's quite a bit to like about this game in such a small package. First off, it's small and it takes up relatively little shelf space, so it easily fits in your collection. It's almost pocket size, in fact, so it travels and is portable. But in that little box, they include, I mean, look at these wooden ice cream truck meeples. Completely unnecessary. It could have been cardboard chits, but they're awesome and thematic and cool. The cardboard chits are a nice thick quality with decent artwork. The inclusion of an actual fold-up board in a game this small was surprising. I like the layout. The board is very simple, nothing too fancy there. The rules are easy to read and understand. There's just a lot going for it. I love the layout of the cards, and that you can do so much with the cards. You know, up here, here's the resource it provides me if I want to spend it to serve a customer. This number up here in this corner, this tells me how many spaces I move forward or how much time passes when I want to pull over and attract customers. I see my customer and their order, and it's very simple and easy to read. I slowly slide this up as I serve them underneath the truck, which is really cool. Here's my truck car, so it would go like this. Whoops. And then when I'm done serving my second customer, I flip it behind the truck, and I can see the victory points and the resources that it provides me. All of this on a card, and it's not cluttered or anything by any means. The card quality is pretty good. It's got a nice linen finish to it. Everything's pretty solid. Now, not everything is roses in the components section. The box, while small, portable, and surprisingly full, is a little too full. I like to sleeve my cards. Sleeving, not an option for this game. The other thing is the artwork. It's cool for the trucks and everything, but the people, I'm not a big fan of what they've done here. As you can see, the people are odd colors with noses and ears that don't match, and at first it kind of made me think of, I don't know, Doug, the old Doug cartoon from Nickelodeon Studios, if you remember that. But I'm not personally a fan. I think it's kind of ugly artwork. The ice cream cones and the bomb pops and all those look perfectly fine. It's just the people, I think, are a little bit odd and weird. But component-wise, it's pretty solid. Gameplay-wise, again, you can do so much with cards, and there's a surprising amount of strategy to it, all at a relatively low cost. So I guess what I'm saying is I really enjoy this game. I just wish maybe there was, I almost wish it was bigger. It feels like it should be a bigger, meatier game, a bigger box, make room for sleeving it, expansions perhaps, etc. But overall, I'd say I like it quite a bit. It plays really quickly, and I don't think I've ever, in fact, taken it out, played one game, and put it away. We've always said, want to play again, as long as it's set up, and we'll play multiple games in a row. And everyone I played it with so far has really enjoyed it. Okay, next up is strategy. There's a lot of strategy in this. You know, you start off all in the same spot, and whoever's furthest behind, you know, this person goes and this person goes, this person can go next. Whoever's last gets to go. And if you stay in last place, you get to take multiple turns in a row. So if you're not sure how many cards to draw, because if you overdraw and you shoot way ahead, it might be a long time before somebody catches up to you and you get another turn. Maybe you think you can draw just one card off the top of the pile and get what you need. You can just draw one card and move one space. Didn't get it? Draw one card, move one space again. It's still, I can get 3 turns in a row in this situation before I pass the orange and it's finally the orange or yellow truck, whatever color this is supposed to be, before it's their turn. So knowing exactly how much time to pass on your turn, how many cards to draw, etc., super strategic. Counting the number of spaces and landing on these bomb pops, they are fairly powerful items in this game. Okay, it counts as a wild, and once you spend it, it's gone. It goes back to the first empty space on the board in front of everybody, or first empty, pothole. So it is a kind of a one-use thing, but if you can land on it and keep it, they are very helpful. A strategy I found personally that worked well was don't just go for the victory points. Some of these cards are worth 3 victory points. It's like, wow, you know, you only play till 9 and then that triggers the end of the game. But what I found is if you don't have some built-in resources to use, it can be really difficult to fill. You keep drawing cards, which means you keep moving up on the track way ahead of everybody else, and meanwhile they're playing things. If you get a nice variety of these symbols lined up behind your truck, you can use them constantly. They're like permanent fixtures that you can spend each round. Then it's a lot easier to fill your customers' orders, and you can score a lot more points. And then, of course, don't forget that the first one to score for these cards that are set off to the side, first one that has 3 pink lined up behind their truck of permanent resources gets to take, the top card that's worth more points. So if you're the first one to meet a goal, you'll get more points. The second one who meets a goal gets the lower points. Third person will get nothing. So also maybe going for like, ooh, you know what, I can get 3 pinks. I'll be the first one to get 3 pinks, and I'll get the card that's worth 3, or was it 4 victory points? And then the next person will only get 2. So going for those cards can also be really helpful. But there's a lot of strategy. I would say the biggest one is really watch the turn order and don't overspend. There have been times when it's been really close. We're rounding the bend here, doing our second or third lap of the map, depending how long the game's taking. And then I'll draw, and I'll draw like 5 cards. I'll get way ahead of somebody. And I'm like, good, I have everything I need. I can go out this round. And then this person gets the 1 card they need. They fill the last order they need. And then they win before I ever get a chance. Actually, the green would have gone first in that situation because he's at the end. But you don't want to overdraw and get so far ahead of everybody that they're going to get so many turns they're probably going to win before you get a chance to do anything with what you're trying to draw. It's try to keep back, actually, is the better move in this case, which isn't the norm in most games. You want to be way ahead of everybody. So just kind of keep that in mind. Having a big hand of cards isn't always a good idea. Sometimes you want to keep it lean so that you can hold back and stay with the pack. But otherwise, I say there's quite a bit of strategy. All right, now let's talk final reviews. The final review scale is 1 is a terrible game. 5 is, it's okay, but it's not good. There's nothing technically broken about it, but I don't love it. And a 10 is a fantastic, amazing game. As you can probably tell, I like this quite a bit. I was really surprised, and at the low cost, I think 20 is the full MSRP. You can easily find it for 15, sometimes even less online. At the small box that'll easily fit in a slot somewhere on your gaming shelf, and with so much gameplay to it, I think this is kind of a no-brainer. I would highly recommend it. I'm going to personally recommend this at a 7.5 out of 10. It's a really good game. It's a lot of fun. I just not a big fan of the art, and there's a couple other little niggly things, but overall it is a solid game, and it's one that I hope to get to the table quite a bit. Everyone I've played it with has thoroughly enjoyed it, and I played it with my teenage son. I played it with my gaming group, and it's been a pretty successful across the board. So there you have it, a 7.5 out of 10 for Rocky Road a la mode. Highly suggest you check it out and possibly buy it.